there's plenty of gas. He's just got to allow or change the law and allow companies to explore and to mine that gas.
Yeah, it's very interesting that the states that are calling loudest for a reservation policy are states that are not producing gas. So they're actually asking for gas to be reserved in Queensland or South Australia or elsewhere. And I think if you sort of wound back time, governments would probably be far more mindful of putting in place a reservation policy before these projects started. But the fact is that the developments have been done, the export contracts have been signed, so trying to institute a reservation policy after the fact is quite different to what's been done in Western Australia where it works, and it's a bit rich asking other people to reserve their gas because you don't want to produce any.
The IMF report, we've talked about it in relation to the NDIS and other things, tax headlines, tax reform, all out there yesterday, but it's interesting to look deeper into Labor's net zero policies. IMF modelling said that Labor's 43% emissions reduction target by 2030 could cost the equivalent per household of $4,500 based on a carbon price of $255. So $4,500 per household. I don't think Australians have clued into this yet, have they, Graham?
Well, no, the numbers are really being tallied, and there's been this suggestion that there'll be a trading market. It will all be, at a relatively easy cost. But obviously, the IMF has looked at our needs and the amount of carbon that we need to, or carbon dioxide that we need to not emit, and what the cost will be of doing that. And they've come up with a number that is way, way higher than people would have been expecting. They're also suggesting things like additional taxation be put onto the purchase of popular cars that use a lot of fuel. And I think you could imagine the most popular cars in Australia are sort of Tradie utes. So they're saying, look, put a few $1,000s of additional tax onto that and cross-subsidise battery-operated vehicles to try and push the thing along. And then they're saying, look, additional taxes for people who run their household using fossil fuels and whatever. So at the end of the day, this is all going to add up. And the big plan about how it's going to be achieved really isn't clear. And the government is struggling with its safeguards mechanism now, and it could be really depending on the Greens to get that through. So goodness knows where it's all going to end up.
Well, I think the politics are going to change dramatically once people have to pay for it and literally can see that money coming out of their bank account on a whole raft of these energy and fuel transport related issues. Graham, Lloyd, thank you.